situation that would be ready to go.
Yep.
Have you developed anything like that?
We've discussed it internally, but to be honest, we haven't put pen to paper yet, but we are planning to do that.
Have you ever asked EMO for an alert?
Yep.
And when and why?
We had a missing child in 2020, and we did ask for an alert to be put out at that point in time. However, it didn't meet the criteria for a full alert ready, but they were very good to deal with, and they did suggest there's two types of alerts. There's an intrusive alert, which goes out to everybody en masse. You would see that, and we've seen it recently with storms or whatever would come out across your cell phone and would go your TV at home. And then there's a non-intrusive alert, which is given to media and social media platforms, and that's what this criteria was. They wanted to help, but they couldn't put a full alert out, but this is the option they put forward, so we took them up on it.
So by full alert, you mean an intrusive alert?
Correct, yeah.
And what was the reason why it didn't qualify? Is that because of the situation the child was in?
Yeah, correct.
Can you explain that?
Yeah, so there's people get confused all the time about ready alert, alert ready, and Amber alert. So there's two different programs. So an Amber alert is if there's suggested criminality, like a child was abducted or something of that nature. In this case, there was no suggestion of criminality. So the province said, look, we'd still like to help you. We can't put out a full Amber alert for this. It doesn't meet the criteria. Really doesn't meet the alert ready full on alert, but we can do a non-intrusive alert for you. So that was something they offered and we took them up on.
So that was because the child was lost as opposed to taken?
Correct, yeah.
Okay. And was the child found?
No, not yet.
If you were in a situation where you were considering requesting an alert, would you consider the impact on the 911 system? And if so, how?
That's a good question. I think if we were to the level that we needed to put out a public alert for a police operation, that's a really high level situation. So it's obviously public safety is paramount, and it's obviously a life and death situation. So if you're to the level where you have to put out or consider putting an alert, a lot of things have gone wrong before that. So the impact of the 911 system, I think, would be not really front of mind for me. It would be letting the public know what's going on.
Are you aware of any means of minimizing the impact of an alert on the 911 system? For example, preventing too many calls to 911?
Well, for me, I think there needs to be a training component to that. So much like when there's a new piece of legislation or a new change, you see social media campaigns, you see advertising. It may be something the province is looking at or has considered, but maybe, and in the messaging itself. So if you're putting out a message, just say, look, don't call 911. I know people probably still will, but I think it's like anything, like when we had to start wearing seatbelts, obviously there's public awareness around that. Now it's not an issue. So if we make this more common and get information out to the public on when you have these alerts around, especially around police types of alerts, don't call 911. Maybe set up a second.
I'd like to know why a full emergency alert wasn't issued for 3-year-old Dylan when he went missing in Truro, Nova Scotia under Chief McNeil's thumb. Considering you didn't find Dylan or footprints or anything in 7 hours before finding the boots, what gave you the intel or the knowledge to not send out an alert? And a 3-hour delay in search and rescue. So, things that I'd love to know. I think that he deserved the alert system 100%, not a non-intrusive alert almost 3.5 hours later. And then he got caught in lies on W5 News. So I'm confused on what's right and what's wrong and so many lies. But at the end of the day, let's come together and bring Dylan home. I love you, Dylan.